Hello, everyone. Good evening. Very happy to welcome you all to our meeting number 309. And today, I would just like to make a couple of announcements before we begin. We do have a very exciting meeting planned for you today with a workshop, but I will let the Toastmaster of the day tell you more about that. For me, I just would like to share a few words about Toastmasters, about this community before we begin. As you see on your agendas, today we have a very interesting topic about the Chivalry Code. Toastmasters for me is a place that we not only practice public speaking, but it is also a place where we can discuss very interesting topics, share our opinions, and maybe even develop our ideas on topics that we didn't think about before. This is a huge community, and this meeting, I love to see faces from different clubs in Russia. We are not the only club that is here in Moscow, and today we have many, many guests from different clubs. We do have a tradition that any newcomer, anyone who is a guest or first-time guest from another club, we welcome you on the stage and ask you to share a little bit about you. So, what I would like you to do is to share your name, why did you decide to join this meeting, and maybe why are you interested in public speaking? What is your motivation to come and join Toastmasters and Toastbusters tonight? So I know we have some newcomers online. If there is anyone in the room, please, my officers, my team, can you encourage people to come to the stage?
Yes, yes.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Today I'm a guest, and fortunately, I believe fortunately, I will think about to join this club because I have something interesting, and here my good friend and former colleague Bulat, so I'm very pleased to see him again. And second, I am not a member from different clubs of Toastmasters. I'm just a guest, and I just recently explored or maybe knew about Toastmasters clubs in Russia, in Moscow especially. So yeah, I still figure out and, how to do with this, because all clubs have a unique atmosphere, people. So long story short, I like the community, people, and everything what happened on the stage. So that's it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think we also have some newcomers online. I know Jasprit is visiting our club for the first time. So Jasprit, if you could just share a couple of words about you, why you decided to join our meeting today. The floor is yours.
Thank you so very much. So yes, my name is Jasprit Kaur, and I am from India, and you can see behind it's the Gabbies that I belong to, and I am VP Education of Gabbies. Just recently the term started last month. And now your question was, why did you join this meeting particularly today? So yes, as the VP Education, I am, taking care of the meetings of my club. But then I'm trying to go around in other clubs within India, because within India, different states, many clubs are there. And of late, I started exploring online. So as I shared with you also, that I just came across this and I tried to contact you because across culture, across boundaries, there's a lot more learning that happens. And as it is, I have always been a communication expert, a trainer. So that gives me an even more chance to explore, to meet people, to have a network. So I'm sure it's going to have to be an evening full of fun and learning for me as well. Thank you. Over to you.
Thank you very much for that introduction. Online, are there any more new guests or newcomers online? Anyone that would like to introduce themselves? I see some familiar names. No? Oh, okay, perfect. Someone there, yes?
Good evening, I hope you can hear me and see me well. My name is Slava. I'm currently living in Germany, but I was born and raised here in Moscow. I'm a member of the Toastmasters Club Esprit de Corps, and I was formerly also a president of the same club in Frankfurt am Main in Germany. I'm the Toastmaster with around 5 to 6 years experience. Although I didn't complete a lot of the projects, I did have the chance to be selected to participate in the district conference for the evaluation speech, which I did compete this year, and unfortunately I didn't make it. But it was a good learning experience for me. The reason I joined this meeting tonight is I wanted to see the names of the people who are visiting the clubs here in Moscow, understand how you are running the business over here, see how the clubs are organized over here. And tonight I'm also the general evaluator, so I'm going to share my feedback and observations till the end of the meeting. Thank you very much.
Amazing. Thank you very much, everyone, for your introduction. Is that everyone in the room? No, we've got more. Perfect.
One by one.
Good evening to all. I'm a member of Optimal Forma Club, but I think I'm still just like a starter. Have almost no experience in public speaking in front of speech making in front of the public. So this is my main goal. Also, to practice English will be also very good advantage of such participating of this club. And also I heard a lot of words of praise about Toastbusters. That is why I decided to step by and to see why. And to meet the people face to face who is attending this club, why it is so popular. And also of course I'm interested in practicing speeches in English, so maybe I will come randomly, or maybe not even randomly, who knows. So thank you. Today I'm a guest here.
I feel like people keep coming on the stage. Is there any more people hiding behind the camera? No?
Seems not.
Okay, perfect. All right, thank you everyone for your introductions. I love that a few people mentioned community. For me, Toastmasters and community are synonyms. So I hope you do get that feeling of community here at our meeting tonight. Quick reminders, I know we're all eager to start the meeting. Please put your phones on silent so that we're not disrupted. People here are different levels, different types of stress responses, nerves. So please do turn your phones put your phones on silent mode. We also take pictures and recordings during the meeting. If you don't want to be recorded, if you don't want to be on camera, please let someone know in the room. The officers, maybe you can give a wave, you can show yourselves, you can let the officers, the team in the room know if you don't want to be recorded or taken photos of. I think I will stop talking now and pass the floor to our Toastmaster of the day. Please welcome to the stage Martino Abrecaviento.
Almost right. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to tonight. It's good to see so many faces. Someone came straight from Germany, so it's like from India. So it's getting very, very international. That's super nice. Sorry, start? Yeah, we can start. So, all right. So I'm the Toastmaster of the day for the people that don't know, which means basically I'm moderating the meeting. So I'm setting the. I'm basically trying to give you the program of the meeting. We have at Toastmaster, the meeting is structured in 3 parts basically. So we have the speeches where people come on the stage and give train on the on presenting, on the leadership styles. Then we have the improvisation speeches, and tonight we have a special event. We're gonna have a very experienced person who's gonna provide a lesson or to masterclass workshop to all of us. Yeah, it's good when you don't get the right word and people tell you different synonyms. Who is gonna basically tell us some good tips on how to do it when you're on the stage. You need to do improvise or in the life as well. And then we have a third part that is the evaluation. And for this we will have different roles who's gonna help us evaluate the meeting tonight. So as you can see, we have already on the screen the theme of the meeting, and actually something very close to me, because as I'm a foreigner, I wanted to understand a bit more about the culture in Russia and the people, and actually I took it. It's a bit egoistic, because actually something that interests very very much, and I'm interested very much in it. And I've asked people around to give their feedback, their opinion on what is chivalry, right? Chivalry is basically chivalry to me is our nice act, granting people to see it, or having some good intentions in general in the society. And this change from country to country, basically. So I should move here, right? You see me? So this changing from country to country. I've been living in different countries, so I would like to understand more. I would like to delve in this topic a bit more, and but because actually it seems like it's so far away. But I would like to understand if in Russia, actually, mainly because many people are from Russia, but we have people from India, from South Germany, I would say. It still resonates with you, and so such as things that courage, integrity, respect, service to other. And this is a question for the audience, because as I said, this is something that I'm personally interested. Do you think these values that basically these are the code of chivalry? As we see here, like these people in shining armor, the court, are these principles still you see them in the Russian society in particular? Yeah, this today. Is you have some examples.
This is in our DNA, of course.
For instance, what do you do in your daily life to?
Maybe we can compare, for example, the law for the woman in generalization for the law into the family and the protection for the family, that the person does everything to protect the family from financially, safety-wise, love-wise, and everything else. Yes, like in the modern culture. You think of Russia situation in general? I think it is in general, but also valid for Russia.
Okay. Anyone else? Anything to share? Maybe we can move to the next slides. I put together something. Anyone else? How you like Marina? You said I integrate these values in my daily life. Give me some example, for instance. What do you do? You hold the door to the people, because sometimes I see people that I'm sitting in the metro and see people just looking at the phone. They forget about ladies standing. They want to grab them seat. Or this type of things, people are very much into technology nowadays, that they are really somehow forgetting
they are too much
contemporary
into themselves, I think. They're taking care of themselves in this case. But when you asked me about chivalry, my first answer was that I don't know what it is right now, because for me, at this very moment, it is more sarcastic, right? Because just give a seat to a lady in the metro. Come on.
Old lady or a child or
Okay,
someone.
it is just respect. Just
Well, I mean, if I see an old lady, a child, or like for instance, when I hold the door, usually when I go out from the metro, sometimes I almost somebody smashed the doors on me, right? So I mean, just these small acts, you know, or
yes, if you are talking about those core values which you described, right? What is courage, integrity, respect, and all the rest? Yes, of course. When I had a car, I always gave a ride to some people standing with big bags. Who was on my way home.
And now you don't have a car.
No, I don't. I use car sharing. But I moved to Moscow. It is just impossible. Or for example, I open the doors for some ladies or just give a seat in metro.
okay.
But this is not chivalry for me.
I mean,
It's just
small acts of respect and serve others, right? Kindness and good heartedness, I would say. So something like this, you know. This is funny. The old man, you know, he probably is getting wet because he's holding the umbrella for the old lady or the small child, you know. And I think this is very. I would say embedded in the Russian society, since very small kids are educated to be some kind of knights, you know, like hold the doors, who help the others, help babushka, dedushka, you know, in the dacha, for instance. At least it used to be. I don't know now. Maybe we can move to the next. There are a couple more pictures. You know, like it doesn't need to be a man, you know. All helping the elderly or letting a elderly lady the seat, or go to the next. Yeah, this is something that I personally dislike, you know. And actually, this is a reason why I stopped communicating being in friendship with someone, because if I see someone is like sitting at the table with me or having dinner with me, I just see that the phone is more important than talking to me, I say, well, you made a choice, not me, right? So you can stay with your telephone instead of me. All right. Anything else? Anyone else want to share some gesture of kindness that they do in their daily life? Or I don't know, ladies. I'm curious about this. Personally, has any one of you stopped in the street and made you a compliment, for instance?
No.
If you remember something.
I do such things.
You do for other, or you receive?
Yes, I do for other people.
And that's very nice, for instance. Yeah, I think compliment, when someone receives compliments, makes you feel very nice. Okay. So making compliments, if they are honest, right? If not, they are fake. If they are fake, it's another different thing. Konstantin, you had something to say?
Yeah, I would like Kristina.
Yeah, Martin.
Yeah, support you and maybe to advocate for things like you're not talking about only men should do this or have to do this. In general, society should be and promote this chivalry, rules, principles, and manners. That's all.
Thank you.
I think there is very good example. In the last 2 years, many men, as it was 1,000 years ago, started to visit Middle East and Istanbul region. It was
for different reasons, right? All right. Okay. All right. Let's. Good. So it's good that I received I like the conversation, and I think we exchanged some good information about this topic that is very close to me, and I want to understand a bit more about in Russia and how people think it in general. All right. As we explore this theme of chivalry, one key principle that stands out is honor, right? Because knights, for instance, in medieval time, they were bound to their word, and they were expected to respect the time. Okay, so similar in Toastmasters, yeah. This discipline of time management is as important, and for this, in our meeting, we have our timer who will uphold this tradition and ensure that we stay within our allotted time and allow everyone to have their voice heard. So that we need to remember and to be mindful that time is a mark of respect for all our fellow Toastmasters. All right, so without any further ado, please join me in welcoming Dimitri, who is gonna serve as our timer. Welcome, Dimitri. And Dimitri mentioned that his opinion about, if you want, you can tell your opinion, or you want me to read it? Up to you.
If you can read, I don't know.
Okay, Dimitri's opinion on the code of chivalry is as contemporary today as never. Contemporary society is very diverse. Today we need to build bridges, and code is an excellent tool for these, although it is not always that simple. This code hasn't disappeared, it just got more complicated. Dimitri. The stage is yours.
So I'm timer and I will restrict in time today. So be careful with the time.
Just tell the rules. Sorry, what is the rule? Tell the rules about it.
Okay.
5 minutes.
Okay. So if you talk about 1 minute, I will show you green card. If you talk about 1.5 minute, I will show you yellow sign. And if you talk about more than 2 minutes, I will show you red sign. So this is a simple rules.
Good evening, Kristina. We can draw a parallel between the discipline of the knights and this discipline that we strive in our speech. Just as the knights were expected to be precise and deliberate, we too at Toastmaster, we aim to be precise and deliberate in our communication. So for this, I will call on our virtual stage Jasprit Kamoor, who's gonna be our A counter of the day.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the day. Well, I feel a well-crafted speech is like a Russian ballet. Every step and every word should be deliberate and very graceful. And in this city where precision and grace are a part of the culture, we aim for the same in our speeches. So, as your R counter tonight, I'll be that watchful eye catching every and filler word that sneaks into the speech or the language. So, let's make sure our words flow as smoothly as the steps of the ballet or the Moscow River. So my report would be presented at the end when I'll be called out, and it would focus on 5 major areas. First would be filler words such as or then inappropriate interjections, for instance, and or well, but, so, the use of crutch words similar to basically, actually, this thing, etc. Repetitive words or phrases in the form of this means, or anything which is repeated unintentionally. unintentional long or short pauses made by the speakers, and I come back at the end when I'll be called for the final report. Thank you, and over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Jaspreet. Did I pronounce correctly your name, Jaspreet?
Absolutely correctly, it's Jaspreet, but it is Jaspreet Kaur. The second name is Kaur.
Cool. Okay, super. All right. And would you like to share your point of view, or you want me to read it on Chivalry?
As you say, you may go ahead. You are the master of the ceremony today. Please go ahead.
Okay. Just please share with me today that Chivalry is not an obsolete concept. It still does. It should exist because that is what keeps the society intact. Any selfish act done for the benefit of the ones genuinely in need can be considered as a chivalrous act. Very nice. Thank you. All right. So we can also reflect on the virtues of the knights as wisdom and reflection. And the same wisdom and reflections that we need to have tonight will be reflected in our quizzes. They are gonna follow this meeting. And so please join me in welcoming our quiz master of today, Marina Prudnikova.
Our Toastmasters, dear friends and guests. Who is the quiz master?
You.
Yes, the person who will ask you tricky questions. So please keep your ears very, very attentive. Because you know, such situations, which Martina, by the way, mentioned, when people are staring at their phones and the other person is talking, and then, do you agree?
Yes.
Yes. And in this very moment, you might become a slave, or I don't know what else, right? You can agree for everything.
Marry, you can marry.
You can marry, yes, you can do everything. You can promise someone $1 million.
You'll be the laughing stock.
So, a lot of ideas, you know what I mean? If you don't answer my questions, you will not get 2 packs of candies. You know why 2?
I hope you will be punished.
Well, my fellow Toastmasters, my club members, how should I call you right now? I don't know. Surfers usually say that I am very strict. Yes, that is why you might be punished. I have more than 1 hour to create some punishment, right? Okay. The stage is yours.
So in today's world, our words are our most powerful tool. And just like the knights of all time, we aim to use them wisely and effectively. So our grammarian today will play a key role in helping us achieve this. It's going to be the guardian of the language, ensuring that our speech is both correct and creative. Welcome on the stage, please, Donara.
Thank you, Martina, for such an introduction. Guardian of your speech. Wow, that's an honor. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow Toastmasters, honored guests, what is chivalry to me? I had a few moments to think about it, and I decided that the core value for me is respect. When you cultivate respect in yourself, you are able to project that respect, to show that respect, and give that respect to others. You can be respectful in your behavior, but you also can be respectful and delicate in your speech and in the way you pronounce your words, structure your sentences, and just deliver your message. Today, as your grammarian, I will be helping you with that. My task is to take notes of some exquisite phrases and grammatical constructions that I really loved, and also to be mindful of some errors, slippers, mistakes, and anything that might not be pleasant for our ears. So I encourage you to be mindful of the way you speak, but also I encourage you to use today's word of the day. If we have a marker, can you help me? Yeah, I changed it. We have being chivalrous, being respectful, being honest, but also being tactful. Tactful would be our word of the day. A tactful person is someone who is careful not to say or do anything that could upset someone. So, for instance, I entirely agree that it was the most tactful way of saying it. So, someone can be tactful, you can say a tactful way of doing something. I wish you good luck with the word of the day, with your speeches today. And thank you, Martino.
Thank you, Nana. Okay. So the subject and art is telling me that we are out of time. So let's move straight to the core of our meeting, one of the cores of our meeting. So to the organized speeches, and let me welcome the stage our first speaker, Bulat Safiullin, with the speech called See the Future Project, Writing a Speech with Purpose. Objective is to learn or review the basic methods of writing a speech on any topic. Bulat Safiullin.
Thank you. Who expected it? Just like that moment, we cannot predict our future. We don't know what will be in the future. But in the same time, we are thinking, we are discussing about the future always. What do you think? Why thinking about the future is so important for us? Any ideas?
To plan ahead. Predictability. It gives us safety. If we can predict what might happen in the future, we feel safer in the moment. Or we think that we might feel safer.
It's very good. Any ideas, Daniel? Do you know why the future thinking? Why it's very important to think about the future?
Because I'm free control.
Free control.
And to know what to do next.
Yes.
Okay. For what?
We can compare what we have now and what will be in the future, so we can make and build some.
To be prepared.
You know, we have a lot of different reasons, but all these reasons have one thing in common. All these things, all our thoughts about the future is connected to our future happiness. So we would like to be happy in the future. That is why we are trying to predict. We are paying so many attention for the future thinking. But we don't know how to predict our future, but it's very important for our lives. So what is the solution for that? So future thinking is just gazing to crystal balls? I don't think so. The future thinking, it's practical, real skills which we can develop. Today, future thinking it's become real skills which is based on science, critical thinking, analytical skills. For instance, Bob Johansson, well-known expert in the future thinking, one of the experts, California University think tank about the future thinking, proposed three-step solution to think about the future. I would like to show you some simple and the base approach which he proposed. The first of all, it's foresight. Foresight is predicting potential future for us. Then insight. Insight, it's facts which supporting our foresight and testing this foresight, and the actions and our reactions to our foresight. It will be like opportunity for us, or it will be challenge for us. Just for example, my foresight, I do believe that our world will be like world was shown in the Spielberg's films, Ready Player One. Do you know this film? And everyone will live in the virtual reality. We will use virtual and augmented reality gadgets. So our educations, our jobs, communications, everything will be in the virtual reality. What is the insights? So VR gadgets is developing very fast. People now prefer to live where they want to live. Cost of the traveling is increasing dramatically. So there are a lot of other factors, but we have a lot of support that our reality goes to the virtual reality. Actions. So I think it's an opportunity. What you can do? You can learn some VR skills which will help you in the future, or you can invest for the company which is developing metaverse or VR gadgets. So in another word, future thinking is helping you be a little bit early in the desired destinations. It's like to be a little bit early on in the airport. At the airport. So when you're a little bit early at airport, you have a time to drink coffee, maybe sleep a little bit, or even react to unexpected situations. Otherwise, if you don't have time, you will have a lot of stress. It's the same about the future thinking. Future thinking is helping to you be a little bit early in the future and look around and understand what you should expect. My personal experience about the future thinking is led me to conclusion that our pension system is not reliable. That is why I decided to do some mitigation actions. So I decided to invest myself. It's not investing to stocks. Of course, I'm doing investment to stocks, but invest to children. Of course, golden rules for any investments is the diversifications. I'm doing the same thing. That's why I have 4 children. So, if you want to have a predictable, happy life and avoid such situations, I think we should implement critical thinking, our future thinking in our daily life. Thank you very much.
Thank you a lot. Thank you. For a moment I forgot I was Toastmaster of the day. Alright, so let's call our next speaker tonight, and please welcome on the stage Yekaterina Shulakova. Welcome, Yekaterina. And the speech is decluttering, 2 dots, happy pill. Project presentation mastery, level 1 evaluation feedback, objectives, the purpose of the speech for the member to present the speech and receive feedback from the evaluator. Ekaterina Shlakova.
Yeah, thank you. Hello Toastmasters, ladies and gentlemen. Have you ever wanted to improve your mental health without taking any medication?
Yes.
I did, I also did. So, I was stressing a lot lately. There was a constant feeling of anxiety. Although I might seem alright, I wasn't, I was overwhelmed. In the last 6 months, I changed 3 permanent accommodations. In contrast, while traveling, I stayed at around 25 different places. But as for the latter, it wasn't like this. I didn't feel stressed at all. So I decided to reflect about it. There was just a suitcase with only the most necessary items. And I realized, but I felt better outside my permanent place, not only because I have different impressions, the life was more interesting, but also because the space was clean. Just because there were little stuff, it took less time to maintain order. So it was a revelation for me. And guess what? I decided that I need to get rid of at least some of my items. And I realized that I need a system for that. This is how I came across KonMari method of decluttering. Have you ever heard about her?
Yes. No.
Wow, great.
I love decluttering.
It's a Japanese minimalist and influencer. So I liked her idea that you need to tidy up your space just once and then just keep the order, just getting rid of unnecessary stuff if you notice it, and that's it. Sounded like the best plan for a lazy person as I am. So I started doing so. And the main advantage was that I recently moved to another place, so I had all my stuff packed by categories. And this is exactly the first point that she has. You need to sort out your stuff by categories, not by places such as bathroom, living room, kitchen. For instance, say you have your clothes in your closet, in your wardrobe. You need to bring it all together and sort it simultaneously. And it was exactly my case, my advantage, with moving from one place to another. The second one is that you need to work on just one category at a time. Otherwise, your whole place will turn into a disaster. It's not the best scenario. And the third point is that while creating the order, it's the second stage. You need to put all the items in a horizontal position so that you have better access to it. And it's another motivation to get rid of the clothes, unnecessary other items, because apparently you will have a limited amount of place if you want to put it this way. And the fourth rule is that you better choose what you want to keep rather than to want to get rid of. And while examining it, you'd better keep it in your hands and decide whether it sparks joy in you or not. So the whole process of decluttering may take weeks and months, but as I already mentioned, I have an advantage because I had my clothes packed by categories. I just moved 3 days ago, last Sunday, to another apartment, and I almost done with the first stage, but there is another one stage, which is organizing your stuff, and there are some tips by Marie Kondo for that stage too. For example, you need to fold your clothes in a special order. Also, you sort out your clothes by colors, etc. So I'm actually having an advantage out of my trauma of changing my places so many times. And this is my advice for you. Even if you move into another place, you can take an advantage out of it by decluttering. Thank you very much.
Finally, when moving to another place, it's not gonna be that stressful, and it's gonna be a learning process. All right, let's have a quick break. 5 minutes. 5 minutes. That's it. Like our sergeant at arms is very strict tonight. 5 minutes, and then we will have the second part of the meeting. Thank you.
Kristina, I'm so sorry to interrupt. We can't hear you. The online audience can't hear you.
Very unexpected. Okay. Hello, do you hear me now?
Yes, perfect. Thank you.
So one more time. Yeah? Hello, dear Toastmasters and the most welcome guests. Do you hear me now? Great. Okay. So today we'll have a bit unusual format of the table topics part, because usually it's just table topics. But today we'll have a bit of workshop on improvisation. And my question for you would be, what for do we need to know how to improvise? What for do we need to know how to improvise in life?
Everyday life.
But what for? No, just it's not interesting in everyday life.
Interviews.
Okay, job interviews, great.
Lying to your husband.
Okay, great.
I don't have a husband.
Okay, I know.
Structured conversations.
Okay. So actually in my life I have had tons of situations, including the job interviews, when I had to improvise a lot. And you never know. Just recently I had a situation in work when I came to a meeting and I was preparing to present in Spanish. And it turned out that my colleagues were from Canada and USA, and I hadn't known about it, and they said, could you please switch into English? And to be honest, it was also kind of improvisation, because you never know. So today we will be talking about how to improvise perfectly perfect. I will share you some techniques that I personally do use on almost everyday life. And a bit of press story. So we are going to have some contests in Toastmasters, right? And improvisations is one of such an important blocks. And to be very honest, so I have been in Toastmasters for like 10 years. And usually I see people, especially those who are very new to improvising, so they take the stage, they choose a question, they already have a question, and they are lost, right? So usually you are reading the question, you're just like, okay, so the question is, I don't know, what fruit do you like? And you are answering directly to the question, okay, I like apple, and what else? It's not interesting. The same thing in life, right? In your personal life, professional life. So today, guys, we'll be trying to break the ice and to learn how to improvise. With that, I would like to say that improvisation is also about you being very creative. Just believe me, I used to work as an interpreter for like many years. Improvisation is a crucial skill. And in order to just, warm up a bit, we'll have a very easy exercise. So I have some things in my bag that actually came from Canada. And I have some things in my bag. And the exercise is very easy. So I will show you something. And you have to think about the first thing that occurs to you. What kind of association do you have with the subject? One very important thing, you don't have to think. So the first subject, the first thing that comes to your mind, this is your association, okay? Okay, so let's start with something.
Should we raise hand or?
Yeah, just show me that you have an answer, right? Just don't worry, they won't be calm. I will warm everybody up, so as far as you can see, I'm quite active. Okay, so the first thing is actually... Okay, let's start with something very easy. Marina?
Blue.
Okay, great. Vasilisa?
What?
What?
China.
China. What's your association? Don't think, just the first thing that you have in your mind. Don't think at all.
He said China.
No, he said no. What's your association? What?
He said China, I thought about dragon.
Great. So guys, this is the problem number one, you see? We overthink always in our personal life, in our professional life. So I have asked you 3 times, what's your association? He said that. I'm not asking him, I'm asking directly you. So, okay, your association. The first thing, don't think.
Plastic.
Plastic, great. Your association?
Czech Republic.
Czech Republic, great. So this is a good exercise because you are learning not to think, but just, to check what idea you have in the moment. Okay, then your association. Don't think. Your association.
Relax.
Relax, okay, your association. Don't think.
Don't know.
You don't know, okay. Your association.
Calculator.
Calculator, okay, your association?
Something like for playing a game.
Okay, your association? Don't think. Game.
Early 2000s.
Apple.
Early 2000s, okay? No, any association. The first thing that occurs to you.
This is also an association that I have no association.
Okay, good point. Association. Kindergarten. Okay, so you see that, yeah, you have an association. Connection. Okay, so you see that we all have absolutely different things in our mind. And the last but not the least, your association.
Pink.
Pink. Okay, your association.
Box.
Okay. Now, your association.
Things that you put in the ears, not
Okay, like earphones, earphones. Okay, your association?
Girls.
Girls. Okay. What? Vitamins. Okay, your association? So. Okay, great. So you see, when we don't think, we just pick up the first thing that comes to your mind, and it's actually very easy to improvise. So guys, to be very honest, improvisation is quite a hard skill. Because firstly, you have to open up to the world, you have to be much more, I would even say funny, and permit yourself to improvise. So there are different techniques, as I have already mentioned. I will be very brief in explaining the technique, and then I will call you to come to the stage. I will give you a question, and you will have to use this technique and practice answering my questions. So actually, the first technique is incredibly easy. So in a real situation, we, as you have already noticed, might have an association with anything, absolutely anything. And when you are getting a question, for example, in our table topics improvisation session, so you're getting the question, and usually the problem that we all have, as I had already mentioned with the apple, so you're trying to answer directly the main idea of the question, right? The main idea of the question. And let's try to see it with a different to look at it with a different eyes. Let's try not to answer the question directly, but indirectly. So with that, what do I mean? You have an association with the main word from the phrase. It might be any kind of association. I will put here a brief example. So I have a question here. What makes you feel happy? Or what makes you be happy, right? So I can start talking about happiness and all this kind of stuff, right? But it's very it's simple. Nobody will be interested in such a thing. But what is my association with the word happiness? And I might start telling you about my own story. For example, that since I'm 3 years old, I have been practicing horse riding. And horse riding is my resource of happiness. And then I can continue telling you a story of my horse riding journey. It's not directly related to the word happiness, right? But it's my definition of happiness. So this is the thing that you should do. Try to pick the word. It actually might not be the main word of the phrase, and associate it with something indirectly related to the question. But for that, guys, you need not only the ability to improvise, but to permit yourself inside of you to improvise. It's also about the mindset, and about the psychology, and about working with yourself. So let's try. I'm here to the stage. Just don't be afraid. Okay. We are improvising here. So, now, I will give you a question, and the main idea is that you have to answer the question indirectly. So you can pick up one of the, well, no, it's an open question, obviously, but you have to tell your story relating to the main idea of the question, okay?
Okay, so it should be finding association and then...
Exactly. So let's just try with the happiness, right? So my question was, what makes you happy, right? What makes you happy? And you have association, your own association with the word being happy. and you have tones of your own stories of what does it mean to be happy, and you can share the story with another person. It's your association, right? So now this is exactly what I would need from you answering my question. Okay? Let's try.
Okay.
First, obviously, initially, guys, it will be quite difficult, but here we are to learn every meaning.
Okay.
So the question is, truth or lie? What is a better option? What is your first association?
Food. I don't know why.
Okay, then, okay, great. Then tell us a story about food.
Yeah. So I don't know why I have association about food. It's not related to the topics, but you know, eating true tasty foods could be very close to your soil, to your nature. You know, sometimes if we're talking about the food, we have so many, we can easily say it's a true food or it's not, it's a false food, I would say. For instance, when you're visiting, when I was first time in France, I was in very old restaurant. I don't know the name of this restaurant, but when I tried their food, it was really like magic. It was really true food because I remember each components, I would say, food. You know, it was like tasting food with super aromats which I didn't eat previously. You know, when you are eating food which is not tasty, it's like false. It's you know, it's immediately forgotten. You don't know what you eat previously. Let's say a couple of minutes ago. 1 minute. Yeah?
Timer? Okay. See, yeah, I'm asking the timer to show the signs, so we'll have like up to, let's take like 1.5 minutes maximum, okay?
So I finished it.
Yeah, I have heard you, and actually, okay, let's. I would like to like a brief feedback for you. So one thing that I would like to share, obviously, I won't be like giving you detailed feedback, but. When you're participating in improvisation or contest or whatever, don't start with such a phrase like, oh, I don't know what my association is, because you know, it's not interesting, it's not sweet for public. Like, if you don't know what to say, just look at people, you know, look with your like sexy eyes and like...
Oh, you know that.
Thank you very much. That's really great that you had your association with food, and finally you got to the answering the question. Also, it's very important in improvisation that you still remain in the main question, right? And when you come to the stage, when you're like answering the question, you're still in the main question. So what's your name?
Nice to meet you. My name is Kristina.
Konstantin, nice to meet you. Okay, so the question for you, life success is your own perception. Life success is your own perception.
Okay, so guys and girls, fellow Toastmasters, I would like to share with you my private story and maybe it will resonate for you, I hope, I believe. So some of our fellow Toastmasters knows me already, I think. So I love and I enjoy challenge, I enjoy some ventures, or for example, be risky sometime. So I think it explains me like a person who very active and like maybe sometimes extreme or dangerous things. And I think this is what we should and the people should, everyone I mean, to experience and maybe to face sometimes in private and work time. So again, what I would like to conclude to say is that if we feel these emotions, we will have the passion of the life.
I really enjoyed that you resumed your topic because I think it's very important still, as I have already mentioned, like remain and still get to the question. And you resumed your main idea by the end of your speech, so thank you very much. So, guys, the first technique, you pick up the first association with the word and you start telling a story. Just believe me, it's quite an easy technique. So let's move on. And we have the second technique. The second technique is actually somehow a bit similar to the first one, but still obviously differs. So let's imagine that you have, and actually it happens quite a lot during the improvisation contest, that you don't have the question, but you do have a phrase. So there is no question in the phrase. And I remember very well, like last year, I think it was, somebody was like the table topics master and the phrase was so long that I was like, what? And another point was when I was the table topics contest chair and I made a question and people didn't know one of the words. And the problem was that everybody was focusing on this unknown word. And it's the hugest mistake because you have many other words in the phrase, right? So my point is that you have to pick up one word out of the whole phrase and just build your speech around this one word. So for example, a journey of 1,000 kilometers starts with a single step. You can use journey, 1,000, single, step. All these words are different. And for example, I could start with telling about, telling my story around the phrase single step, right? So my definition of single step, and that a single step is one of the most difficult things in your lives, right? And sometimes we have a lot of inner obstacles in order to go further, and then develop a story based on the single steps. For example, around the point of how I was developing myself professionally and which obstacles I had to overcome using just one single step. It's interesting, and I'm still answering the question, right? So now what we will be talking about and we're trying to do, I will pronounce a phrase and your task will be, Danara, please take the stage. So your task will be to pick up one word and to build your improvisation as a story with the introduction, main part and conclusion as a story, right? Around this one word. But just remember that you're still answering the question and you have somehow to include the question or the idea of the question into your conclusion or beginning or somehow involve it. So your phrase is one important book can change your own world. One important book can change your own world. So the first association with which word you have?
Book.
Book. Okay, then your story around the word book.
Do you know what's the common denominator between me and Hermione Granger?
No.
Can you make a guess? We love books. We're nerds, and libraries are just like our second home. Hermione would go to the library every time for every question. I would go to library on every week to go to the Toastmasters, but I also would go to our digital library, Google, when I need to find something, research something. But being in the digital world is not the same as having a copy of a book at your hands. And I find the most intricate journey unfolds in front of me when I'm picking up a book and diving deep into the story. One book can change your life, yes. And you know, for me, it was the Harry Potter series, because I got so addicted, and after reading that series, I went into the Hunger Games, then something else, and here I am, now having a collection of my own books and coming up and building my own little library. So I do believe that books can change your life for the better. Thank you.
Professional and doing things. I really enjoyed it, and you really tried to structure your speech. It was very difficult. It was very easy for me to, because like I was very involved. It was very easy for me to follow you. And one trick that we could also add, we're still talking about the structure of any improvisational speech. The third tip, it's really great to start with an opening phrase, not introduction, but with a phrase. It might be any kind of phrase. It might have been a phrase from Harry Potter book, for example, just to attract the attention and to use the body language, but it's a different thing, right? But still, great, thank you very much. Okay, so would you like to join me on the stage?
Yes, try.
What's your name?
Zaur.
Zaur. Okay, nice to meet you. So, your phrase is, okay, I'll have a question for you. Why might it be difficult to live in the world of constant and rapid technical progress? Again, why might it be difficult to live in the world of constant and rapid technical progress?
Can you repeat, please?
I might, but I wouldn't lie. So
Okay.
which word would you pick?
Maybe I misheard, but I heard the word rapid.
Rapid.
Rapid. Maybe I again misheard this word, spelling of this word, but this word is associated with game. Maybe you know the game Dota 2, and there are here is no nerds. There are one weapon, and this name of this the name of this weapon is rapid, and it is the strongest weapon in the game. And okay, I didn't get the question at all, therefore I will not be able to answer this question, but I remember myself at 13, and I totally was addicted by this game, and but I was the coolest guy in my class because of this game, because I won all tournaments at school, and I won even our district tournament. Yeah, and that's all I think.
Okay. Actually, a good example of any person. I don't know whether you were joking that you hadn't understood my question, or was it true? You really did?
Maybe because of my maybe I hesitated, and therefore
You hesitated?
Yeah.
Okay, but still it's a very good example of what we have to do when we just don't understand the question. I understand it's an ability that you develop with time, but most importantly, guys, you just never say that I haven't understood anything, and never start with saying that I haven't understood the question, because like, you know, it's like in life when you're trying to convince a person in something, and you're like to a client and you're saying, well, I don't know, then it's not the best tactics, right? So I would suggest you picked up the word like rapid, great, then just turn the your answer around the question, around the word. It still was great, so thank you very much. Okay. Okay, let's guys move to the third insight, right? And then if we have time, then we will just recap on the rest of the things. So, the third thing, the first insight is, on one hand, the most, like the easiest, but on the other hand, I think the most difficult, and it's called structure. Because again, usually, at least what I see a lot in Toastmasters is that when people are taking the stage, and they are getting a question, they just say the first thing that occurred to them, right? And it's very difficult to follow the idea. So just try to imagine yourself talking with somebody, and somebody is trying to tell you a story without any kind of structure, right? It's difficult to pick up the main idea. I would say that just imagine that your audience is like a little kid, and you have to explain in the easiest words, right? It's not about humiliating our dearest audience, obviously, right? It's about your own feeling about how to transmit your idea. So in Toastmasters, what I would suggest, and I actually saw it like on international contests a lot, that people usually have some stories prepared beforehand. Because like usually you can adapt any story literally to any situation. And what I would suggest that you have 3 stories, like a funny one, I don't know, a sad one, and something else, and then just adapt to the question. That's point number 1. Point number 2 is structure. So it's the same structure, guys, as we always have in any kind of speech. So we always have an opening phrase. We always have the introduction, right? Because like introduction is like the road map. We have the body of the speech, and we have the conclusion, and ideally we have the closing phrase that's related to the opening phrase, right? And ideally all of the things are related to the question. So again, the opening phrase, the introduction, the main body, the conclusion, and the closing phrase. And the closing phrase has to be related to the opening phrase. So when you do all these things together, your speech, that is like about 1.5 minutes, will be smooth, and it will be easy to follow you, and people will be interested in your speech. That's the most important thing. So now we will try to practice structuring your improvisation speech, right? And I will also have some questions for you, but just try to control yourself. So please take the stage. Try to control yourself. So just you can even say yourself like the opening phrase and just pronounce the opening phrase. Then like the introduction and the introduction. Okay? So your question is, for example, what does it mean to be courageous? So the opening phrase, something very bright that will attract the attention of people, and you can use the techniques of association and choosing one word.
Imagine yourself being a small kid, and you're walking around, and then you suddenly appear in a situation when you don't know how to behave. And you're asking yourself, and you're asking the others, what should I do? Sometimes you know the answer, sometimes you don't know the answer. Courage is what you need to be able to take a step into a right direction. And sometimes the courage can come from you, sometimes the courage could come from your friends, sometimes the courage could also come from your parents. But you need to know that courage is extremely important for you to be able to go into the destination you need. Because unless you really try to go into this destination, or unless you even fail, even if you didn't try it, where is the courage? Why did you stop it? So try to see the courage in the other people. Try to develop the courage within yourself. Try to get the courage from your family, from your relatives, from your friends, maybe from your Toastmasters community. And the courage will help you in your life.
Thank you. What I would also suggest is that one thing that I actually haven't mentioned before, that is really great to use. I understand that it's such a simple thing on one hand, but it's really great to say like dear Toastmasters and the most welcome guest in the framework of contests, you know. It's really nice to start with a phrase, like the bright phrase, and then like pause a bit and then say dear Toastmasters and the most welcome guest. It's also attracting the attention. But still, you're amazing. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay. So again, guys, the opening phrase, then let's try to add this like dear Toastmasters and the most welcome guests, okay? Vasilisa, please join me on the stage. And then the body and the conclusion. Okay, so your question is, being a leader is a vocation. Being a leader is a vocation.
Vacation.
Yeah, vocation.
No,
Vocation or
Vocation, like to be. It's fine. It's fine.
Okay.
So the opening phrase.
Dear Toastmasters, friends, club members, being a leader is a vocation. Recently, I found out that this is not true at all. As I started my own journey as a leader, I found that being a leader is a skill that you learn by doing and communicating with your team, by studying other leaders like John F. Kennedy, presidents, etc., other club presidents, past club presidents. That's how you learn, how you study their experience and get along your way to study the plan, success plan to your club. When I was first struck with this huge responsibility, I found out that I'm not alone in this, and I'm supported by many, many people who are around me. So, is leadership a thing that you're born with? No, it's a skill that you learn by preparing together with your team. Thank you, dear Toastmasters.
Thank you. Actually, I enjoyed that. You were almost like playing a bit of a role. And it was a different person, and like, okay, it's a different Vasilisa, I don't know such a person. But it was really great, so thank you very much. Do we still have time? 5 minutes, okay. Then guys, in general, these are 3 tips. We won't be going any further, any deeper. Now I just want you to practice, because really being a leader is a practice. So, Marina, you're welcome on the stage. Okay, so you can choose any technique, whatever you want, but just try to follow the structure. That's the most important. And timer, please be aware of time. Marina, so the question for you. A straight path will easily lead you to a result, whereas a twisted one will teach you a lot. A straight path will easily lead you to a result, whereas a twisted one will teach you a lot. Marina?
Who of you want to get quick results? Hello, Toastmasters and most welcome guests. We all want quick results. Preferably with a special red or blue pill, which will fix us completely. But at this very moment, please think of vomiting or diarrhea or something else, because you just can't bear those pills, because you don't know how they will change you. In this case, a twisted path to a result where you train, where you practice, where you just check yourself, your skills and abilities will give you not only the result itself, but the great experience, the new power and confidence, which will make you a superhero at every situation. Thank you.
Thank you, Marina. It was really very unexpected. I would never imagine you talking about pills, but still, this is adult life, right? Thank you. Okay, would you like to join me on the stage? Yeah? Okay. Right, I remember, no, yeah, you was trying to do something, that's why I was just like, okay, so the question for you, if you could do one special thing to one special person in your life, what would you do? If you could do one special thing to one special person in your life, what would you do?
Well, one special thing that I would like to do in my life is to take the world trip with my son. That's definitely something I would do. I already planning it. I'm already testing the pathway myself. I'm planning to go next year to Brazil and Argentina.
Oh, really?
The other year probably to, he's too small, my son is too small, he's 9 years old, so I'm testing the path, I'm gonna travel around and see where I can go with him when he grows up a bit. So next one is Argentina, Brazil, South America, then next year I plan to go to Asia, and he came last summer, he was with me in Italy, not the first time, it was like many times already, but by the time we will get there and we will accomplish this dream. Thank you.
Great for sharing your own story. Say hello to Argentina for me. Okay, one more person. Yes, one more person.
It's not me, okay.
What?
It's not me, okay.
No, you. Okay, would you like to join on the stage? Improvisation. Okay, so the question for you will be be smart or be intelligent? What would you choose? Be smart or be intelligent? What would you choose?
Do you have time to think?
If you really want us to know, no. You have to really. That's why it's very important while we're doing the exercise, right? Not to overthink, just to pick up the first association. Because, unfortunately, we already don't have time to think. We're encouraging you.
Well, okay. I've been thinking about this question for a while, to be honest. But it's a tricky question because we all define beauty and intelligence in a different way too different to come to the same numbers. Just forgot the words nominated. So it's the philosophical question for me because we all consider beauty in a different ways. We can call some people stupid or smart, and other people would say that it's vice versa. But I would say that it's important to see intelligence and beauty in everything in life, in everything we encounter in our life. So yeah.
Thank you. I understand it's incredibly difficult to start improvising. It's really a skill that takes time. But I still.
What if you don't have an answer to the question?
Actually, you just. Okay, I will answer another question. Just imagine that you are on a presentation for your client and you are made a question that you don't know how to answer. Do you have, by chance, a chance not to answer?
No.
That's the question to question.
But you choose a beautiful equipment or practical one, for example, yes?
Exactly, or just to be very honest, you can, for example, beauty, right? There was an amazing film called Beauty and the Beast, for example, right? So you could talk about the film. Or if I were you, I probably would try to share my own story of how I was perceived by other people, being both or being one of the things, or how I perceive other people. For example, what is my perception of another person being beautiful and smart? But I think it still takes time. That's why when we're doing the first exercise, I asked you guys, don't overthink. Just take the first idea that you have and just try to improvise around the idea. But it takes time. But you're still smart and beautiful. Thank you. Done? Right? Okay guys, so first of all, I encourage all of you not to overthink. Try to be creative. It takes time. It takes tons of inner work. But we live only once. And the contests are very soon. So we have to prepare to improvise even better. Right? So thank you.
I always forget that I'm Toastmaster. because I'm enjoying so much and I forget about everything. Thank you, Kristina, for your wonderful lesson, workshop, class. Yeah, it was very insightful. Actually, I will take note of what I like is like to put together 3 stories, 3, 4, 5 stories, and have it in your archive. Let's say you can take them out, use them whenever they need it, and adjust them. So it's good. Like this, you're prepared basically. It's not improvisation anymore.
Another thing that I would just to mention that you had made me a question regarding the children, right? But I didn't manage to answer you.
Yes.
I remember. Actually, I think that it's, guys, incredibly important to be a woman and to be a man. Mm-hmm. And in my world, like, it's impossible to live a different way. If you are not a woman, a man will never be a man. If you are not a man, a woman will never be a woman.
Okay.
So I think that is like so interrelated things, and I still suppose that it's one of the essential life things in order to have a bright and amazing life.
Fantastic. One curiosity. Do you get compliments in the street or when you walk around? People approach you, they say, oh, congratulations, actually, beautiful eyes, or something like that?
Yeah, I do. And I work like among men. And it was really nice. I enjoy when men open a door for me, when they pay for me in the restaurant. Good. And I really enjoy it. And it's not about money, it's not about, this kind of stuff, just about me being a woman, about me feeling a woman, and man, I feel a man around me. That's
okay. And you said that there are women that don't accept the compliments?
Yeah, to be very honest, I think that girls, please don't be afraid of me, but I still think that unfortunately it's a Russian trait, that Russian women are afraid of compliments and they just don't know how to accept compliments. And in my opinion, they think that you have to do something for a man if a man is saying something good, that he's waiting for some, I think you understand, things. And I don't agree with that. Like, if you feel like saying it, it's great, just say and just accept.
All right, okay. I got the point. Thank you. My own curiosity. All right, so the Sergeant Tenard is about to kill me. He's like about to get a gun. I will call on stage our wonderful General.
Vice President of Education. Why do you call him?
Yes. He's everything tonight. He's multitasking. He's everything. Sergeant Tenard, Vice President, President. You see. So I will call on stage our General Evaluator, directly for Germany. Okay, so like he came all the way from Germany for us, and Slava Starkov, right? Correct? Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. The stage is yours.
Can I get the reminder from timer how much time do I have?
No.
2 minutes.
2 minutes?
No.
For the general evaluation, I think it's 5 to 7.
Up to you have 10.
End of working hours.
10 minutes.
Okay, if I have more time, I can give a little bit more elaborated feedback.
10 minutes, no problem.
All right, great. So first of all, welcome, and I would like to say a big thank you for you that you have decided to spend your time in the evening of this day, not somewhere around at your home staring at your phone, but really staying here and learning how to become better, as an effective speaker, how to become better as an effective evaluator. I'm really enjoying to join to this club and see how the things are done over here, and I have something to relate how do we do the things in our own club, which I would like to share. On top of that, I'm going to give some personalized feedback for the people who have been here on the stage tonight and have been giving some speeches. Am I already cut? Great. First of all, I think on the timing concept, I think that your club seems to be very flexible, which I think is generously speaking okay, but then you better get to know that for your members and for your guests, that the timing might get extended. So for example, I have to extend my parking ticket already twice because I was not sure if I'm going to be there on time. But timing-wise, something that I think that you can follow a little bit more structured. I will start maybe with Martino, yes, as a Toastmaster of the evening. So Martino was doing tonight a very good job. He was here on the stage, he was moderating and joining one person, the other person. He was giving us the comments, he was making a very nice introduction about the subject of the evening. I get that you are basically here very, like, because you are Italian, yes, you told me a little bit in the break, I feel that there is a little bit more of the energy inside of you that you really want to communicate. The one thing that I really noticed that the thing that you were holding in your hand sometimes was restricting your movement, because you were like holding that, but then really communicating that with the other hand. Just put it down, yes, and I think with the two hands you have much more gestures. Even if I'm holding the stuff over here, I can still relate to that, but then basically I have an open opportunity to move the hands. And I also feel like you're a little bit dancing. I mean, I don't know why. Maybe you really, do you practice dancing?
Sometimes. Yeah.
Sometimes. So maybe you are really like wanting to have a stage presence and that's why you dance. But generally speaking, when the people are on the stage, each and every move is seen by the people who are here, and then if you have a certain position, of course, it shows that you are very confident, but also you can move throughout the stage and you can show that your presence is linked to one topic or your stage presence is linked to the other topic. Yes? So try to control it a little bit more consciously, and that would make it much, much better. The other thing is around the structure. I think the structure of the meeting that you have here is quite different from what we are doing in our club. For example, as a Toastmaster of the evening, you introduce all of the speakers, yes, here on the stage, introducing their title of the speech, what is the project, what is the level and the time. Usually in our club, we do have an opportunity for an individual evaluator to appear here on the stage and share the same with the public so that people know what the person is going to be talking about. And specifically, we put much more emphasis in terms of what is the deliveries of the project. For example, if you say writing the speech with purpose, then the person needs to announce what is the purpose of the speech that he or she is going to be writing, then the audience can actually feel that the purpose of the speech has been met. That basically helps the audience to kind of give a little bit estimate, yes, and give a feedback about that in their own head. On top of that, I noticed that, not because of you, Martina, but generally because of the structure of your meeting, you didn't have the time for an individual evaluators to be here on the stage and share the evaluation. You only have the general evaluator to do it.
It's going to come now.
It's going to come now.
Yeah. I mentioned the structure. We have the speeches, then we have the improvisation, and then the evaluation. So basically, you start the evaluation, now you call on stage the evaluators.
Yeah, actually it's differ a lot on the class.
It differs a lot.
In European class, it will be like a surprise for me that, you know, like...
The reason I was mentioning that is because usually as a general evaluator, I'm prepared to evaluate the evaluators. And usually that should follow that. And I feel like we are in the end of the meeting, that's why I was thinking that we are closing the meeting.
No. The evaluators and then you give feedback for rest of evaluators.
All right, good suggestion. Thank you. Then I'm going to go on the other roles. Dmitry, I think you started up with the introduction of the time. When you were here on the stage, you introduced the role relatively straightforward, so knowing things to recommend, but you were very much looking down on your eyes. I don't know why. Don't be afraid of the people. They don't kill you. Yes, basically, they come here to really enjoy what you're going to say.
Maybe we can call the evaluators first to give their evaluation. After that, we call on stage the experts. They give their evaluation, then you give your evaluation.
I can stop here, no problem. Yes. So let's do this. If your club is doing this, let me pause over here and I save 3-4 minutes in the end.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes,
then,
if you give the feedback right now, then the people will come again, and then you again will evaluate them.
For the personal evaluators, I thought it would be not a good one. So let me then call to the stage.
As well.
Can I call to the stage?
Yes.
All right, great. So for the speech that Bulat was giving, let me call Samira to the stage. Samira, welcome. The stage is yours.
Thank you, Bulat, for your insightful speech titled Seed the Future. The purpose of your project was to write and deliver a speech with a clear purpose. to inform us about the importance of future thinking and to provide practical steps for incorporating it into our lives. I'd like to share my thoughts on how you achieve this through your content delivery and the overall impact of your speech. I'd like to start from the title. The title, Seed the Future, is a very metaphorical suggestion, the idea of planting ideas or actions today that will grow and flourish in the future. This title immediately piques our interest to think about the future as something that we can cultivate much like a garden. Future thinking, as you explained, is more about just the planning. It's a mindset that encourages us to anticipate changes, envision possibilities, and take proactive steps to prepare for what is to come. And you effectively showcased that future thinking is a skill by providing several examples. As to your content, your speech was well organized, aligning closely with your purpose. You began by giving a definition for future thinking, then you moved on to explain why it is important, not only as a tool for personal development, but also as a strategy for long-term success in various aspects of our life. Your delivery was engaging and confident. I really liked the way you interacted with the audience by asking multiple thought-provoking questions. You maintain a good eye contact with the audience, and you even incorporated a joke about having children, which was great. While your speech was very good, I have a few suggestions for further improvement. First, consider deepening your exploration of the metaphor you used in the title, and drawing more parallels between planting seeds and cultivating future outcomes could make your speech deeper. Second, I noticed that you were holding a piece of paper behind your back during the speech, and I think that this limited your ability to use both hands for gestures. And to enhance your future speeches, please consider placing your notes on the table so your hands are free to gesture naturally. And in conclusion, I would say that you have successfully delivered the speech that not only met the project objectives but also left a good impression on the audience. Your title was metaphorically rich, your content was clear and focused, and your delivery was engaging. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Samira. And now I can call to the stage a second evaluator, Alexander, who was evaluating Ekaterina's speech. Alexander, welcome.
You need to tidy up your space just once. It sounds like a plan to me to bring order around. And I will study this subject, decluttering, for sure, after that such informative and also personal story. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, you know what? We like such story that give us some advice how to improve things around us and make our life better. This is a story Katya shared with us today. Now I'm moving to the technical part of Katya's speech. Dear Katya, I noticed how well you were connected with the audience. From the beginning you asked question to the audience related to the subject of the speech about mental health. And this engaged audience from the beginning. I also noticed how well you were connected with the audience through your eye contact. You addressed every person in the audience, you tried to address every person to of the audience, and also your vocal variety, your tone was clear, but no need to give some emotions for such kind of speech, informative speech, so vocal variety was enough. Your gestures were purposeful, so parallel, suitcase, everything was on the right place. And also it was related to the context of the speech. And your gestures help us to visualize. Now, moving to the part of the things that could have been done better. You moved from one side to another without making single step. To challenge yourself, I would like to suggest you to use stage more for the next speeches, because it will help to make connection with audience more. It will enhance your delivery. And eye contact also will be, you can see it on the eyes of Kristina if you make some step. You can use this stage also. Not only first to Martino and maybe Marie, but everybody. So stage is yours, it's offline meeting, hybrid meeting, you should use it. And also I noticed extra thing, unnecessary thing in your suitcase was your smartphone. You do not need it, your delivery was great, and it also limits your gestures. And next time, please try to avoid some unusual, unnecessary things, only visual aids, like Bulat maybe did, but purposeful things. So, to summarize, great speech with advice, useful speech, great structure, informative speech, great gestures and eye contact, vocal variety, and please try to work on using of the stage and avoid to make to use notes for your next speech. And I wish you good luck with your next speech. Thank you.
Thank you, Alexander. I need a little bit of help from education. What do we do now?
Call the minor roles.
Call the minor roles, okay. We started up the meeting with the Umana counter, Jaspreet. Are you still with us, Jaspreet? Yes, she's there.
Yes, I'm there.
Great, welcome. So now the stage is yours, so please share with us your Umana counter report.
All right, thank you very much, General Evaluator. So, first of all, I would like to say that I had to be really very, very tactful to find out the R's and M's, because majority of you were really very good. And you know, my job of R counter was very much in question, but then yes, I was able to find some. So to begin with, we had some great speakers like Kristina. Kristina, I really loved your session. So Kristina and the way Valeria spoke in the beginning, and then we had Marina, and then the general evaluator himself, Tunara Vasineva. Not even a single or or anything. I was all ears waiting to catch something. Nothing happened. I think Marina came twice or thrice in front of us, nothing. She did not leave anything for me to catch. And there was no wrong pause, no repetition. None of you gave me a chance. Now, the ones whom I have not named, So yeah, there were certain little bit things happening here and there. They did a good job, but yes, they could do with a little bit more of practice. So the basic areas where the problems happened was maximum cases were of R. A lot of R's happened. R's and then ums. And there was a lot of usage of so. A few repetitive words happened, which were like that, and then there were quite a few of the short pauses while people were speaking. But all in all, I would say it was a great session. And it is 12 o'clock in the night, midnight over here, but I'm still loving it and I'm still craving for more. It was a beautiful session for me. Enjoyed it all through. Thank you very much. Over to you, General Manager.
Thank you very much, Justin. Now, as far as I understand, according to agenda, do we give a chance for Dmitry to share his feedback on the time?
Overall, everybody, most of the people didn't violate the timing. What reached exactly 7 minutes. Important to highlight. Well, in general, in my opinion, timing today was okay.
Thank you very much, Dmitry, for sharing your feedback. Nanara, I'd like to share your grammarian feedback.
Yes. So, dear Toastmasters guests, I'll be quick. Let's start with some slips of the tongue. We pay much attention, not many attention, some pronunciations to develop, expert, to summarize, purposeful. Again, the plural of a child is children, not children. Again, a slip of the tongue. Happens to everyone. Another interesting fact, 2 dots, inversion, it's colon, and semicolon would be a dot and a comma. We talked about food, so true food, false food. We can use some synonyms to diversify our vocabulary. Fresh food, organic food, wholesome food. As for false food, artificial food, processed food, unpalatable food. Again, just take some notice. Write it down, guys. And as for, I got very tricky question during the table topics. Being smart or being intelligent, what's the difference? Okay, I had to Google it, I looked up in the dictionary. So Cambridge Dictionary says that being smart is being able to think quickly or intelligently in difficult situations. And as for being intelligent is being able to learn and understand things easily. So smart is thinking, intelligent is learning. Just in case. And the things that I loved: to maintain order, to spark joy, to be flexible, ideas grow and flourish in the future. And last but not least, I almost got offended and thought it was so untactful of you to not use the word of the day until our dear Just Breed saved the day and used that magical word. I'm really grateful to you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you. So that's all for my evaluation. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Donara, for sharing your feedback. I need to look for my notes. We have left with Marina, who is sharing the quiz. Marina, welcome.
So I have 18 questions, but maybe not enough.
I have as well.
Only three minutes, right? So the first one. What are the 4 main ingredients of Code of Chivalry, according to Martina? 4 main.
Bravery.
Politeness.
Kindness. Respect.
Yes. Respect.
Integrity.
Yes. Integrity.
Honesty.
Right.
Toastmasters.
The first one.
2 sweets.
First
That's with the C. That's with the C.
Yes.
How shall I divide?
Just give everyone.
CO.
I'm sorry.
Where's the seat now?
Courage. Okay.
Courage.
Let's move next. In what way knights were similar to Toastmasters?
Delivering speeches.
Yeah. First.
They were paying attention to time and being...
Yes, respecting time. The matter. What is the core value of chivalry according to Danar?
Respect.
Yes. Who answered? Okay. Constantine is the colleague of
Bulat.
What Bulat did in the very beginning of his speech?
Drop the book.
Yes. What you feel when you are short of time, according to Bulat?
Stressed.
Yes, stress.
Thank you.
How many accommodations?
15.
25.
3.
4. So, okay, 25 what?
Accommodations.
What?
Change in the United States, something like that.
No, there are 2 questions, but you answered one of them. So, how many places did Katya
25.
stay while traveling?
While traveling.
25 in the United States.
25,
25,
yes.
correct.
That is why I asked 25 what? And how many permanent accommodations in 6 months?
3.
3. How much